So you know it's cooked when it's floating on top just like this. Quickly fry the outside of it.
Perfect. Happy fall! If you've been to Larry's Produce, you actually see pumpkin patch and all the squashes are out. In the celebration of the season, we are going to be showing different recipes that involve pumpkins and squash. And to go with that, we are picking Maya's Red Blend is a blend from King Andrew's Vineyard in equal part Zinfandel and Cabernet Sauvignon. And Zinfandel is now officially the fall wine because it has a structure that is really light but also really fruit forward. It has a lot of other spice that would go well with the fall flavors. And the features dish this week is Butternut Squash Gnocchi. First thing, we're just gonna cut the butternut squash into quarters and wrap them in foil. After we wrap this, we're gonna put it in 400-degree oven for 40 minutes. Next, we're just going to open this up, take the flesh, put it in a container, and I will blend that with a hand blender. So the gnocchi is a potato gnocchi, and we start that off with boiling this potato in salted water until when you pierce a knife into it, it has no resistance, and if you do that right, the skin should just come right off. We do not peel the potato before. Ideally, we would use a ricer, but I don't have a ricer, so I use a masher instead. All we do is to break up the potato into small bits, into rice, so that we can mix them with flour. And you don't want to work the potato too hard, because then you will start to work the gluten, and then you end up with gnocchi that is not fluffy. So the ratio here is, for half of the butternut squash, which is what we're working with here, per one kind of medium large potato, an egg. So crack the egg right down center, and then use flour. We'll start with half a cup, but you don't want to add too much flour, because if you add too much flour, it will become less fluffy. If you ask how much, it's like just enough. And here you just go in with your hand. The idea is that we keep adding flour until this hole is shaped. So right now, as you can see here, it's still quite runny. So we are going to continue to add more flour. We got it to be consistent, and then gonna portion it out into roll like that, and we're gonna really gently roll. Going to cut it into a pillow. On the rolling boil salted water, we are dropping our gnocchi in. So you know it's cooked when it's floating on top just like this. So just gonna fish them out. We're gonna prepare the brown butter. So over medium heat, we'll melt half a stick of butter and put in sage. Keep the temperature fairly medium-low, and over time, very slowly, it's gonna brown like that, and that is flavor. That's not burn, that's flavor. We now take the cooked gnocchi and just gonna quickly fry the outside of it. You can eat the gnocchi really as is, but frying the outside really just help add the texture and also infuse the brown butter and sage flavor into it. You can see that it started to brown on the bottom. Gnocchi is still quite delicate, so I use spoon to really gently flip it. So we took off the gnocchi from the butter, and remember it actually has no salt yet, so we actually have to season it with salt and just a little bit of pepper here, and importantly, Parmesan cheese, Parmigiano. So for tasting, let's go in, get a little bit of everything here. Perfect. The texture melt in my mouth, and the butternut squash really just give that fall flavor that is so nice, and the sage and brown butter. And with all of that, the wine we picked today, blend of Zinfandel and Cabernet Sauvignon, Maya's red blend, is hit right on. It is a medium body, light, and somewhat of an easy drinking red wine. Really go well with a vegetarian dish like this, where the texture is really soft, the wine is really soft. There's this sage herb character to it, which has the Zinfandel and the Cabernet both sort of have that herbaceous character that help pair with the food. This is a great pairing, a really seasonal dish, really fun, and a way to impress your guests, impress your friends, and have a really healthy meal. And see you next week with more fall flavors, and I will see you at Sisseton Valley Wine Co-op. You know, by the way, can I abort this mission? Because I feel like this is not right.